Welcome back, everybody. Season 3 is here. You ever move your entire family into a crime scene and think this is the perfect spot to finish your book? Yeah, me neither. But Ethan Hawke did, and the decision leads us straight into Sinister, the film that introduced the world to Bagul, a demon who doesn't just devour children's souls, he also has a shocking, solid portfolio in film editing. I mean, really, this guy's cutting snuff films like he's trying to get into Sundance. So pour yourself something strong, keep the attic door locked, and maybe don't watch any movies at home for a while. Let's get weird. This is Horror Cinema Obsession.
Welcome to Horror Cinema Obsession. Here, we dive deep into the chilling depths of horror cinema, from the critically acclaimed scares to the laughably ludicrous, and even the delightfully obscure. Now, let's join our hosts, Richard and Angelus, as they share their love, laughs, and sometimes sheer disbelief at the world of horror movies.
Welcome back, everyone, to another awesome episode. I am Angelus.
And I'm Richard. What's up?
And you are listening to Horror Cinema Obsession.
If you didn't tell from our intro.
This was not rehearsed, you guys.
Man, welcome back. I'm glad to be back. How about you?
Fucking stoked, man.
A new season thrice?
Thrice, trust.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
This season's packed full of some freaking awesome movies. I can't wait. What were the ones you picked?
Only the best ones.
I can't remember those ones. I just remember the listeners and my.
You freaking selfish man.
As you can tell, guys, in the promo that I just sent out for season 3 on our social,
about Richard.
It was all mine. Only because I couldn't remember.
You couldn't remember what?
I'm drawing a blank. Like, what's our next movie?
Ready or Not, man.
Oh.
My pick.
Okay.
Be great.
Wonderful. Anyways, welcome back, guys. Man, we got a good one today.
Sinister.
2012. This movie, man, if you got kids, earmuffs, this movie fucks. One of my favorites, honestly. This is a surprise favorite for me.
Okay.
I had the privilege of seeing this one in the
There
theaters.
we go, guys.
Hey, I'm a movie guy. But I remember this one specifically in the theaters. I remember it being freaky. It was a date, and I'm pretty sure this ruined the date because I chose this. I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. It's scary. The date did not like this scary movies, especially this dark shit.
You didn't, inquired?
I didn't vet it. I was like, oh, I wanted to see the movie, and I needed someone to
I
go
don't
with.
care what you think.
Pretty much. So then I'm like, oh, we parted ways, and it was just awkward after that. But
damn.
Hey, I love this movie. Something good came out of it.
A podcast?
It's the Blumhouse movie. This is one of the earlier ones, isn't it?
I didn't realize that it was Blumhouse.
It was, yeah. It was pretty good. Pretty good. You've never seen this movie.
You guys, I had the fucking privilege of watching this last night for the first time. Richard turned every single light off in the upstairs in the living room.
You need to set the mood, you know? I'm like, oh, she's never seen this. I got to give her as much theater experience as possible.
And there was ghost children in this movie. That fucking...
Those of you who haven't listened to the podcast, things that Angelus really gets to, like she gets into, is religious, exorcism movies, kind of anything to do with religion, and then children.
Possessed fucking killer little children.
So your initial thought, what did you think about this movie?
I was like, oh my Lanta, why haven't I watched this before? Was my initial thought. I know.
So did you never hear of it?
I kept seeing the title, but I never heard anyone say good, bad, whatever. So it was just like, oh yeah, one day. But because I hadn't heard any opinion from anyone who had seen it before, it didn't really pique my interest.
And this is episode number 53.
And yeah, and just
how the hell did we not cover this sooner?
No, 52.
52. How the hell did we not cover this sooner?
I don't know, but yeah, I've never seen it.
Thanks, listeners.
I've never heard anyone talk about it. And I kept seeing it. I don't know, just from the picture of the cover, I was like, oh, it's just, I don't know, another possessed movie. I'll watch it sometime.
And not necessarily possessed. It's not possession.
It's not.
But you thought it was, huh?
just from the cover.
The
I don't
cover's
know.
creepy, and I kind of want a movie poster of it with the
You
kid
want a
drawing the blood.
Poster of everything.
I
we
do.
watched.
Guys, I love movie posters. So any fans that send me movie posters, I love you. 10.
He will, yeah, our office is covered in posters, except for my one wall that I had to fight Richard off of.
Every day I'm trying to put posters
I
on
know.
it.
3 of the walls are covered in posters. There's one wall that I want, like, family pictures and office stuff, and he's like, you haven't hung anything up. I have my posters lined up.
We've been in this house 6 months.
So it takes time. I don't know which family picture I want
gotta
to
go
go
out. I gotta go out to the garage and start hanging
and
it.
visit your, what's the one?
Hollow Man.
Hollow Man's hanging in the garage right now. We have, you guys, we even have posters in our hallway outside of the office.
Dude, okay, Anaconda. That one is fucking awesome. Aliens,
Aliens?
Tremors.
Uh-huh.
Come on, man. People walk in, they look at it, like, what the fuck? Plumbers
What
came
the
down,
fuck?
they're like, what the hell's going on around here?
These are not good
I have to
people.
say, I'm a 35-year-old man with these posters up in my office. I have to be like, oh, it's my teenage sons.
I had a call. It was funny. I didn't realize that it was for a, like, consult with a financial, what is it called? Like, financial planner or whatever one time.
Yeah.
And I came down here to the office for quiet, and as soon as I turned on my camera, all I could see the entire time in the background was the Ouija board, and I was like, shit. I was like, what is this guy thinking? Just like, or horror cinema obsession poster of us.
Shout out Lord Pineapple.
Yeah, and then below it, the Ouija board for the entire 30-40 minutes that this call lasted. I was like, yeah.
We got to get a picture.
I want to stay for
Take
my retirement.
so we don't forget, can you take a picture of that wall and we'll post it on the socials? Can you take a picture real quick?
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, this movie, it definitely, this would be probably about maybe my 4th time ever watching this throughout 12 years. Or not 12 years, it came out in 2012.
Got a little confused.
Yeah, there we go. Something weird with your mic. Sorry, guys, if you hear Mike, I'm going to try to get that stuff out. Acting funny, I might need a new cord.
Always with this fucking microphone.
It's you.
It's me. Every microphone
It was that
you put on
titanium
my
plate
desk.
they put in your skull.
It's not in my skull. I got taken out.
Oh.
It's a little loose. Maybe that's why it's staticky.
So, let's jump into this humdinger. The release date, like I was saying, was 2012, but October 12th. Just in time for spooky season. And man, this is the Blumhouse special. This one kind of tapped into what they did best, low budget. So their budget for this was $3 million. That's crazy. And then the worldwide gross, did you see how much it made?
Yeah, freaking $87.7 million.
That is an awesome return of investment.
Crazy.
That's more than triple, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. This made Sinister one of the most profitable horror films of the year. It also helped solidify Blumhouse Productions. Again, low budget, high return model, which they're still trying to do. Have you noticed they've kind of fluttered recently? Some of the Blumhouse movies, like the one coming out, they turned into a full-on comedy. I'm surprised they didn't send her to space. The Robot Girl.
Oh, fucking Megan?
Yes.
The trailer looks terrible.
I'm gonna watch it, but they made it a comedy and an action comedy. I don't know why.
First, like the teaser that they kept showing when you go watch movies.
Oh, the CGI was terrible.
That one was bad.
Yeah.
And then the trailer looks just, they turn it into like an action comedy.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Something.
They should have launched her into space like Leprechaun 4, dude. I think that's Leprechaun 4. But no, yeah, this kind of solidified Blumhouse at the time. And then with this, I do have, let's just jump into the next segment. So the writer, he was heavily influenced. I didn't know this. Upon my research, I found out he was heavily influenced by the movie The Ring, the American version, 2002, when it came out. He watched that. And then a series of subreddits. He did a deep dive in Reddit, and this is what came out was Sinister 2012. So A tale of two cursed formats and some seriously bad parenting decisions is what I came down to with this. But I have kind of comparisons of the two. Do you want to hear it?
Okay.
And feel free to chip in too. But to start, obviously, cursed media. The Ring, a cursed VHS tape. Watch it and you die in 7 days. You pointed that out, 7 days.
Yeah.
And Sinister, a box of cursed Super 8 films. You watch them, your whole family dies eventually, usually in a very creative and deeply traumatic way.
Disturbing.
But I don't know if there's a way, days. It's just when you up and move. So the similarity, both films centered around analog media as a vehicle for supernatural horror. The more you watch, the closer you are to doom. Curiosity, in this case, literally kills you. And then 2, the protagonist that you watch is a downward spiral. So The Ring, Rachel, she's a journalist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, a journalist. And he's an author.
He didn't get very creative with this, did he?
But a journalist investigates the tape to save her son and uncovers Samara's backstory. Sinister is Ellison. He's a true crime writer, investigates the film, hoping for a comeback, and slowly becomes obsessed, putting his family in danger. So the similarity, obviously, both leads are parent journalists who think their careers justify the obsession until it's way too late. Both get sucked into the mystery only to realize they're part of the curse. So obviously 1 and 2, the media, the analog media, and then the protagonist.
Yeah.
Pretty similar, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then the creepy kid factor. Do you remember when we covered The Ring, that kid?
The little actor, whatever his name was?
Yeah, he played a really good... Was he autistic in that movie?
Shut the fuck up.
He seemed pretty autistic, but maybe that was a creative decision. But
he was, the way he would stare into the camera.
Aiden.
He didn't call his mom. It was Rachel.
Yeah, Aiden, Rachel's son, is emotionally...
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, you're good.
The image is just burned into my head towards the end of the movie when she comes home and yells at him, and he's just like, has the biggest dark circles ever from not sleeping. And he just like runs like frantically. Like, shit.
So he's emotionally distant, eerily calm, and maybe a little psychic or tism. But hey, we love you. Sinister, Ashley, and Trevor both show signs of being affected. Ashley starts drawing murder scenes, which they never truly know until at the very end. Remember when she drew on the bedside? They never seen that one. And then Trevor has night terrors that involve crawling out of boxes. He has the night terrors, and then he drew that at school.
Oh, on the board.
Yeah. Similarities, children are both victims and conduits for the supernatural force, and both films lean heavily into my kid knows something I don't trope.
Both have fucked up parents.
Yes. Well, yeah. What is that? They just, both parents are more obsessed with work.
Yeah.
And then, so number 4, the monster's MO. So The Ring, Samara wants to be seen. She projects her trauma onto others, right? Sinister, Bagul wants souls. He spreads through images, manipulating children to murder. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
So similarly, both entities are spread through visual media and are tied to tragic death. Both are nearly silent and spectral presence with distinctive iconography, sorry. So long hair, white face, etc. You pointed out, too, in this, that with Bagul, he no longer was Super 8 film. It almost got, again with Samara, too, went even further into the technology and online. So I think that we will cover it eventually. The movie, I'm sure, Rings, the most recent Ring in this Ring series. I think that one went to a digital format online. And then this one, Ellison, our protagonist, he records it and puts it on his Apple computer, which didn't really send it out to the world, but someone could find that after, you know what I mean?
Hackers, yeah, because the professor at one time, he says that there's very little because they try to destroy everything.
Yeah,
Back then it was on paper.
Because
it will live on.
Yeah, it'll live on by...
It'll spread.
Like, keeping it just a limited amount, then it won't get it too far.
Yeah.
It'll just, unfortunately, it will stay family to family, like one family at a time.
Yeah.
But How can this just
So
spread,
fucking
do you
Allison
think?
just exploded it because someone could go find it. Although he deleted those films, someone could go and recover them
Yeah, nothing's ever truly deleted.
and then sent out.
Yeah. So that was fascinating. You made me think about that. I'm like, wow, you can create a whole world with this.
I'm just trying to keep up with you.
Now the tone and atmosphere. So The Ring, it's cold, clinical, rainy, quiet. Washington. It was supposed to be Seattle area. Feels like dread is soaking into your bones, essentially. Sinister, it's more warm, grainy, claustrophobic. Dread builds with every flicker of that fucking projector.
Yeah.
They really do good with that slow burn. So both use that slow burn tension, grainy footage, and audio design to create unease instead of relying solely on gore or jump scares, which I wouldn't you agree? The Ring is creepy, still freaky, and then this one definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm almost done there. So number 6 is my last one, the rules and the twist. So The Ring, the twist is that copying the tape and showing it to someone else spreads the curse, which is the only way to survive. Sinister, the twist is that moving houses completes the cycle and Ellison's family dies because they fled too late. Or fled at all. What if they stayed in the house? Then they wouldn't have murdered, they'd just be haunted.
No, I think it would have killed them too. I think
It takes moving though.
I don't think that it takes moving.
Because everybody lived in the house before the person where they died, and then they moved and then got killed.
Well, that was the connection.
That's just
that
how the
cop
rules.
made. I personally didn't interpret it as a rule. I thought that was just the connection that the deputy found, was that because they were like, oh, none of the families were related. It took place in different towns. The only thing that they were connected is that at one point they had lived in each other's houses. So when
That's what I'm saying.
And he asked, nobody had ever reported anything to the cops. So I'm assuming they didn't report anything, and then they
So
just simply
multiple
moved
deaths-
thinking that was the end of it.
But that's how it works, because multiple deaths never happen in houses. So that's how it never got on the police's radar, because it happened spread apart. So these families would move far away and they never associated. So that's kind of how he keeps the cycle going.
Richard, I respect your opinion. I agree to disagree.
Dang. Okay. Anyways, both endings are bleak and play on the idea that the curse is systematic. It's not about surviving. It's about unknowingly passing it on. Kind of like that shitty movie, It Follows. I hate that movie. I haven't brought that up in a while.
I know.
So my final thought here, The Ring and Sinister, they feel like spiritual cousins, you know?
Yeah.
Distant cousins.
Distant.
So both
not
explore...
kissing cousins. I'm kidding.
Okay. Both explore how technology and media preserve trauma. Both suggest that the act of watching itself invites evil. And both end with the implication that you, the viewer, are now complicit. So that's kind of the similarities that I found when I was kind of comparing the two.
Okay. By now we've watched both of them recently within the last year.
Yeah.
Which one do you find more scary and like effective?
Which one?
Mhm.
Fuck, man. Okay, so I watched
There's a
The
lot
Ring.
of similarities.
I was 13 when I watched The Ring. That one was freaky. Well, at that age, that freaked me out. This one, I was an adult. I was 22
Mm-hmm.
when I seen it. I would say The Ring was more effective for
Really?
me, only because of my youth. I was young.
Okay, but like watching them now, in your 30s,
Oh, I associate better with Sinister.
do you think that's
Yeah,
more
now trying to
scary?
have a kid too, and living with a teenage girl that hates me constantly, it finds me locking the doors. You know what I mean?
Fuck out. She does attack you pretty often
I know, man.
with tickles.
Tickles and just she can cut deep, dog. I'm like, hey man, how's it going? Nothing's wrong. I'm like, oh shit. Anyways, love her to death. Good kid, good kid.
I like when she follows you around just to tickle you, and you're like, I don't like it.
I
She's
fucking
like,
hate it.
She's like, I like it.
Good kid though. She's fun. Do you have any final thoughts? What are your final thing? What do you think scarier?
I think Sinister was scarier.
But Samara was pretty creepy.
She was creepy, and she was a fucking stalking little asshole and just followed you because she wanted to be heard.
Yeah.
But again, it's the element. Once they revealed that Bagul is a fucking pagan deity and it eats fucking children, and like it takes it. I was like, oh, that monster is way scarier than Samara. Samara is mad her parents fucking killed her.
So that leads me into the next thing. It's time for a new game. Are you ready?
Woo woo woo!
It's called Folklore or Fakelore. I wasn't as creative on that one. The game where I test your ability to separate ancient myth from complete nonsense I probably came up with during a, I don't know.
During
a work session. I don't know.
Session. Were you really working from home on Friday?
Yes. Anyways, some of these are legit gods or demons once worshipped or feared by actual human beings. Others, total crap I made up while probably over-caffeinated and under-supervised, to be honest. You, the listeners, feel free to play along too. If you know any, send us on our socials some and we'll guess your guys's if you can find some. If you're a mythology major, man, I love you, and send us information if you want. Trick us, throw us a curveball. We'd love it. It'd be fun, huh?
Yeah, we'll share it on media and see if anybody can guess right.
Okay, so my first one, Angelus.
Oh my gosh.
Are you ready?
Maybe.
So I'm going to read the name and I'm going to give you the
what they do
explanation. So this deity is Scandinavian spirit. It lures hunters into the bog by mimicking the voice of their dead grandma. Classic trick is, come here, Sven. I baked some bones. Velmora is the name.
Fake.
Sorry, it's what is Fakelore? Made up, but if Midsummer taught us anything, never trust anything that comes out of a Scandinavian swamp, okay?
Or is this like a Monopoly? No, what is that game? What is that fucking game where they play and it's like, what is Jeopardy?
Yeah.
That's how, man. Okay,
Monopoly?
what is folklore? It ends with the Ollie.
Okay. This one. Demon number 1.
Wait, was I right?
Yes.
Okay.
Demon number 1 in the Ars Goetia shows up with 3 heads, a man, a toad, and a cat.
What the fuck?
Like a demonic PowerPoint with a bad clip art. The name is Bale.
What is Fakelore?
Wrong.
Oh.
Folklore.
What is folklore?
Real as hell, literally. And definitely not someone you want running hell.
Damn.
And it seems like he's kind of running hell down there. And I think, and forgive me, guys, I can't pronounce some of that. So, next one, you ready?
Okay.
Let's see here. We've got, okay, let's see.
Just go through all of them, right? Sure.
I will.
Oh, okay.
This one is a Mayan bat, god of death. Basically Batman if he had way worse intentions, and an Aztec death cult fan base. The name? Kamazats.
What is Fakelore?
Ooh, wrong.
Are you serious?
This one's real, and probably the reason bats can't get good PR, to be honest.
Oh, shit.
Even with Batman trying to give him good cred. Okay, how about this one? Known as the third presence, only appears in mirrors, never in real space, usually right behind you.
Fuck?
Yeah. So it usually creeps up on you. And its name is Krithnar.
This sounds fake because it sounds like Krithnar?
Krithnar.
Krithnar. What the fuck? What is Fakelore?
Correct. Total crap. But now you're side-eyeing the bathroom, aren't you? Krithnar will be calling.
Krithnar. Get out. I need my private space.
God, Krithnar.
Just trying to take a poop, Krithnar.
Oh, I love that one. Okay. This one. The breath behind the door, said to freeze the lungs of liars in mid-sentence.
Ooh.
Great for tense parties. The name is Ash Terrell.
Oh, what is folklore?
Wrong.
What the fuck? You
Fakelore.
did good.
Yeah, made it up, but it does
You're
sound
all
like
proud.
does sound like a boutique candle I thought you'd find in Bed Bath and Beyond.
You should see Richard's face.
Or
He lit up.
Bath and Body Works, my bad. Okay. How about this one? And we got a few more. Slavic goddess of winter and death. Every year people would drown or burn in her effigy to end the season. Instead of just switching to iced coffee like the rest of us do. The name, Marzana.
Ooh, what is folklore?
You're right. Real and low-key, the queen of seasonal depression. What's up?
Shit.
Wow, you're good at this. Do you know those ones?
No, it just sounded kind of legit.
Okay, this one, the name's a little crazy, but fire cult deity worshipped by doomsday nomads promised to carry believers to a new sun, allegedly like blood, ash, and being dramatic as fuck. I added the dramatic as fuck. The name, Agraneth.
This sounds... What is folklore?
Fakelore, baby. Made it up. But honestly, he could headline Coachella. Bad name. Okay. Let's see here. We got two more.
Okay.
All right. So this one's Mesopotamian underworld deity, later downgraded to Christian demon. Started from the top. Now he's eternally middle management. Name is Thamus.
What is Fakelore?
Folklore, baby, real. Just
What?
trying to keep the fires of hell running on time, baby. And that's Thamus. Again, sorry, I can't say these names very well. Okay, last one. Here we go. Demon of elegance shows up as to talking crow and teaches rhetoric. So like your evil debate coach. Think about it like that. And it's putting evilness in your ear. Nefarious.
Oh, that sounds... What is folklore?
Yes, real. Has strong, used to be in theater energy. You know what I mean? Very dramatic.
Oh, like you?
Yeah. So that was it. So how'd you do? I think you did pretty well.
I think...
You got the majority of them.
No, I didn't. I feel like you got me a lot of them.
So yeah, don't worry. You're exactly the kind of person Bagul's looking for.
Oh,
You're that guy.
I'm not worried, Richard.
We'll have to do that. You'll have to do a game like that for me.
Okay. You
I don't know if this season
participate?
has it. Yes. I had so much fun doing that. That was
Oh,
fun.
you're so cute.
That was fun.
Okay.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, send us some characters and we'll guess it. I won't use the internet to search. I will guess it. Fakelore or folklore?
Bum-ba-da-da, an original of horror cinema obsession.
This movie, did you know, it was kind of fascinating. It got dubbed the scariest movie of the 2010s.
No.
You know,
No, again, I've never seen
this
it
is a
before.
scientific fact. Did you know they had a science like behind this claim?
Oh, I did. I think I read some of that.
So in 2020, the British broadband company Broadband and Choices conducted a study called the Science of Scare Project. They monitored viewer heart rates while watching 50 of the top rated horror movies based on IMDb, Reddit, and critic rankings. So I wish I was part of this study. That would have been awesome. Sinister topped the list with this, but I think I would have skewed this because my heart rate would just be like,
Flat.
yeah, unless we watch some kind of mind-bending shit. But I'd be like, you got to give me the hard shit, man.
You'd have flatlined too. You would have been like, I don't like this.
You got to give me the hard shit.
I
You got to freebase these horror movies for me.
have yet to see you like get scared or
Yeah.
jump.
So the average heart rate for the scare for this movie was 86 BPM. So it's pretty high. The baseline, the starting point was 65 BPM was the average.
Oh,
BPM.
shit.
And people were 86 BPM watching this. The highest spike was 131 BPM. The
What
heart
the
was
fuck?
racing. And do you know what scene that was during? Take a
Mm-mm.
shot in the dark here.
One of the jumping scenes.
Close. It was. It was during the lawnmower scene. The most intense scene, in my opinion.
I feel like I was there too.
It was pretty good.
It was.
131 BPM. My heart wasn't racing, but I was like, holy shit.
I jumped. I was like, what the fuck? Then I was like, you scared me. I was like, I don't like it.
So for me, real quick, the other top contenders in the study, I was kind of surprised, but then again, the 2010s were kind of a hit or miss for me, but Insidious, The Conjuring, Hereditary, I can see, but then this one was a shock. Paranormal Activity.
Oh, what?
I never thought those movies were scary. Did you?
I'm trying to think. Because I watched the first one. I don't know if I watched the second one. I might have watched bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there was like jump scenes, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, we're gonna go back to 2010. I don't think that there was a ton.
No,
of,
even 2010. I remember Paranormal Activity. And I was like, this shit sucks. Is this where horror is going? Because I'm out.
2010 in Angela's world, I had I think a 10-month-old when that paranormal movie came out. So horror was not my main.
Oh, because Vanna was born in 2009. Interesting. So you weren't watching any of it?
I remember her being a baby and watching it at home, but I watched it in the middle of the day, probably while she was napping.
Paranormal Activity?
Yeah, but it wasn't like... Yeah. I remember the hype of being like, oh my God, found footage, possession, blah, 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 blah. It looked realistic at the time that she had filmed herself being haunted by this thing, but...
So, the conclusion, Sinister was labeled the scariest due to sustained tension and sharp jump scares. What makes Sinister so effective is honestly the atmosphere. The grainy Super 8 snuff films are deeply unsettling. Tap into the primal fear right from the gate, right? The starting where the family's hanging, showing it. I thought that was pretty intense.
That's a big opener.
Yeah. Sound design, the experimental kind of David Fincher, industrial, Nine Inch Nails kind of feel, industrial noise music and disturbing audio design play a major role, which when he's watching those films, those creepy...
Oh, I found there was a thing I found about the soundtrack for the snuff films.
Yeah.
So, because I like the soundtrack for this movie, I found like in some
deeply
scenes,
disturbing. I enjoyed it.
They were very effective.
Yeah.
It like totally elevated
the
environment and what you were watching.
That's a scientific fact too. Music can do that.
So Christopher Young did the score he did the soundtrack for the movie, but like for those films, the writer, they searched the internet for creepy and obscure soundtracks, and they bought the rights to music by someone named Olber, Judge Hydrogens, and Boards of Canada, and they used their music for the snuff films and that's where they added the element of like mystery and like the eerie to add to it. You can buy the soundtrack for the movie, but it's just based on Christopher Young. It doesn't include the sounds that they put into the snuff films.
It'd be kind of nice for a haunted house, like if we ever did like a haunted yard.
I just thought it was interesting that they went and they purposely searched. They did a Google search for obscure and creepy.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then, let's see. Well, let's go. And then my next thing, this is a question that I'm genuinely curious what you think. Bagul, I know they made a sequel, but this is kind of the standalone film. And I've never seen the sequel, so I might have to watch that. But for me, do you think Bagul belongs in the horror like icon Hall of Fame? He definitely has potential. If not, and I can justify my reasoning. I
don't think that we saw enough of him.
Really? I think we saw enough. Like, he was freaky.
He was freaky, but like, I think we saw most of the children, the ghost kids that were missing.
Yeah, and
did of him. At times, he would just make an appearance, like the fucking paparazzis, and let you take a picture, and then he would hide again.
Yeah,
and he have the kids doing. You know who he reminded me of?
Yeah,
what's his name? The villain from the Saw movies, Jigsaw
or
whatever.
Yeah.
The haircut.
Dude,
And the tugs.
you know who totally ripped off? Yes.
And the white face painted over.
You know what I see? And if you look up close, it's not close, but when you look at a distant, Hosier, the album cover, his first album, definitely looks like Bagul. And I always thought it was Bagul until I looked up recently doing this research. I'm like, oh, that's not Bagul. That's just like an ocean in his face. But if you look at a distance, it looks white and it looks like long hair and it looks like fucking Bagul, dude. I always thought that. And he's like this Christian like singer.
Is he Christian?
I don't fucking know. But anyways, when we talk horror legends, we got Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Pennywise. You're talking slashers with personality, right? Even Jason when he doesn't talk, or Mike. Their presence and pop culture dominance. But then there's Bagul, a quiet, pale-faced demon who doesn't chase his victims. He doesn't speak. It doesn't even show up that often. And yet somehow he was terrifying. I thought he was terrifying. I'm trying to imagine me as a child and I watched this. I would have shit my pants. I wouldn't be sleeping.
Yeah.
And I was going to break it down. So his power. Bagul doesn't even lift a claw or a hand, anything. He manipulates children into doing his killing for him.
It's like not the Mason of demons.
Dude, that's not just evil. That's like, that's insane. He outsources his horror like he's running a demonic call center in the underworld. Like a little sweatshop in China. He's outsourcing his killing.
That's fucked up. And they're not getting paid.
Freddy's in your dreams working graveyard shift, right? Michael's breaking into houses like a sweaty home invader. Meanwhile, Bagul's sitting in a dusty attic going, let the interns handle it. Let my children handle it. I thought that was scary. That's power. That's a power move. Presence. This dude, he doesn't need screen time to be effective. He just stands there in the shadows, in the corners, like in your soul. No jumping, no music cue, just pure nope. Michael tilts his head, right? That's signature. Bagul just stares like your worst, like memories.
Have social cues.
Yes, dude. He just stares at you. My God. And then his aesthetic, dude. Bagul looks like if the Babadook had a goth uncle who's DJs funerals, in my opinion.
Oh my God.
It's minimalist, it's iconic, and just creepy enough to feel ancient. Like he's haunted, like cave paintings before haunting your kids. Now the legacy from one film, by the way. So
I was going to say we should probably watch the second one.
In a single movie, Bagul managed to cement his image as a horror icon for me. No elaborate backstory, no franchise bloat, just one film, a box of Super 8s, and a demon with an eye for cinema. He's like the sorcerer of snuff, man. He's pretty awesome. Did that convince you at all?
No.
Damn it. I tried.
Thanks for trying.
What you
say makes sense. Again, I just didn't see like a lot
of... Hey, let's not forget, 2020 scientific study literally named Sinister the scariest horror movie ever in the 2010s based on actual heart rate spikes. So you think that happened without Bagul being a creepy influence?
Yeah, because like the killings were scary, man.
This guy made watching horror home videos more horrifying, but also intriguing for me.
Let's let the listeners be the judges of those. Richard's voting yes.
Dude, he did this without uttering a single word. But go ahead, listeners, weigh in on this.
Maybe he was mute. I don't know. He's from the pagan times. There was no sound on TV back then, so it just carried, like Charlie Chaplin.
Okay, my final verdict here. He may not be on T-shirts. He may not have action figures.
Are you gonna get a T-shirt now?
But Bagul, he doesn't need merch. He lives in the attic. He haunts your kids, and he edits murder films like he's trying to win a cursed Oscar. Okay?
What if there's a box of movies in our attic?
So yes, Bagul deserves a seat at the horror villain table, right between slasher icons and the goddamn projector, okay?
Okay.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum.
But yeah, what if those Super 8 films?
We've never looked up there.
I love you, just trying to cut in every time. Didn't let me finish anything.
I thought this was a collaboration.
It was.
You just want to listen to yourself talk.
Yeah, god damn it. No, if there is, we should look, dude. I'd be so stoked. I'd be awesome. We ain't moving. We're here for live, baby.
No, I'm fucking pissing out.
You are?
If there's a box that says homemade movies and it's like labeled with fucking random things,
We can watch them.
I'm gonna be like, adios, Richard.
Sleepy Time 98. So yeah, that was that segment.
I think he has potential to be a great classic horror villain.
But from what I've read, and I've never watched it, I got to give it a chance with my own eyes, but it sounds like they botched Sinister 2, the sequel.
We need like Bagul, how he came to be, or I don't know.
I don't even need that. Although if we could see it back in time, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Because before there were movies, what was he doing?
Like Assassin's Creed.
How was he killing before movies and cameras were a thing?
Paintings and shit, dude. Books, literature. Remember when in the movie, the dude says they burned everything?
But in this one's, the way that he transmits from one family to another is by recording the killings.
He likes Super 8. He likes that film.
Watching movies.
I get it.
I see. Good points. Good points there, Ricardo.
So how do you feel about the staff or the cast?
The staff did okay.
The cast, how do you feel about it?
I liked them. I like, what was her name? Ashley and Ethan Hawke.
Dude, Ethan Hawke, he's one of my favorites, man.
Where the fuck did they name Ellison? I kept trying to say Elliot and Elia and...
Yeah. So Ethan Hawke's one of my favorite, dude. Training Day, he's good. He's been in a bunch. The Purge, this movie.
The Black Phone.
Yeah, Black Phone, Gattaca, Before Sunrise, Boyhood is another one. He's just been in a bunch, and he's a child actor, too. You know that?
Oh, no.
Or like a teenager. He started acting when he was a teenager.
Okay.
Fucking awesome. I thought he did pretty good as our protagonist, Ellison. And then we have his wife, Tracy Oswalt, but played by Juliet Rylance. So I've never seen her in anything else. Have you?
No, but she was in Frances Ha, American Gothic, Perry Mason, which was a TV show.
The remake, yeah.
Arthur the King, and Common Decency.
Then I have a TV series, The Nick.
Okay.
Only lasted from 2014 to 15, so not great.
Wow.
But no, she was fine in this. Kind of a minimal role, but played concerned wife pretty good. And then we have Fred Dalton Thompson as a sheriff. So this guy, I always
excited.
Dude, this guy is fucking awesome. So not only was this dude an actor, but he was a U.S. senator. He took over for Al Gore when Al Gore became vice president.
That's not in the fucks, man.
Isn't that crazy? But then that's not even where I remember him. I remember him Law and Order, baby, Special Victims Unit. He was I want to say the Attorney General.
How much of Law and Order did you see too?
Growing up, my whole fucking life, dude. You know who I liked? Sonny Briscoe. And God, what was his partner? I just remember Sonny Briscoe. He's a chain smoker. He's awesome. He plays Nobody Puts Baby in a Corner in that movie.
Oh, the dance movie?
Yeah, he plays the dad. I'm drawn. People kill me.
I know what movie you're talking about.
Patrick Swayze. Yeah. The Time of My Life.
I would keep you want to say Save the Last Dance, but it's not that.
No way. Look it up. Patrick Swayze movies. I'm drawing blanks, dude. I think I have fucking
Alzheimer's.
Yeah, dementia.
How do you spell Swayze? Wasa. Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing, yeah. Sonny Briscoe. Yeah. So anyways,
I forgot what we were talking about.
So anyways, he played in Law and Order TV series 2002 to 2007. So my whole teenage years, he was like the Attorney General. I loved it.
I'm learning so much about you today, Mom.
Also, The Hunt for Red October, which is a great movie. Die Hard 2, he was in that. I have to rewatch that. I can't remember. I thought he played great. Very minimal role. And then we have James Ransone as Deputy So-and-so. this guy, his background, he's known for his roles in both television and horror films. So he was in The Wire in 2003, It Chapter 2. I'd have to rewatch that.
Who was he on it?
I'd have to watch it. And then he was in The Black Phone. And then Sinister 2. But I don't remember him in Black Phone, do you? Was he like his brother or something?
I had to see who he was in. What's his name? James.
Ransom.
So in It Chapter 2, he played Eddie Kasparov.
He played Eddie?
Yeah, apparently.
What the fuck? Okay.
And then in Black Phone, he played... Is it Black Phone? It is Black Phone. He was... Oh my gosh, where's his... He played Max, whoever Max was. I don't remember.
Brother, I think. I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. But he was good.
And Ethan Hawke was the grabber?
Yeah. So...
We need to cover this movie.
Yeah, James Ransone, he had a minimal part in this movie, I was reading, and they expanded the role because he did such a good job. He improvised, from what he says in interviews, he improvised this, and he just made him more, like, likable and awkward.
Yeah, I liked him. He brought in
and kind of
comedy.
aloof, but he was pretty good. Levity. I thought he was pretty good in this, and this is what spawned him to be in a sequel to this movie.
He was also in Prom Night, Empire State, and more recently in VHS 85.
Oh, cool. We have Claire Foley as Ashley Oswald, the child.
So that's who I've seen the most besides Ethan Hawke.
In what?
I saw her in Gotham. She played Ivy Pepper and grows up to be Poison Ivy. And then more recently, Vienna and I saw her on She Came Out of the Woods.
Orange is the New Black?
That was an episode.
Oh.
It doesn't count.
Oh, shit.
I'm kidding. It does. But no, She Came from the Woods. It's like a campy indie movie. It's on Tubi is where we saw it. I think it's a Tubi original.
Oh.
But she was also in Before I Sleep, Fool's Day, Southpaw. Yeah.
Okay.
I just remember her beautiful little red hair.
And then we have Michael Hall Diodario as Trevor Oswald. He plays the teenage son. His background, he's known for his work as child actor. So People Like Us and The Brass Teapot is what I have. Yeah, small role again. And then we have Vincent D'Onofrio as Professor Jonas. This guy is probably one of the bigger stars besides Ethan Hawke in this movie. Again, Law and Order, Criminal Intent. Shout out, 2001 to 2011. And then also he plays the bad guy, what's his name, in Men in Black. He's a big cockroach.
Oh my gosh, really?
You remember that?
Mm-mm.
So that's how I always remember him.
As a cockroach?
That's how I always remember him, is
Poor
that guy. He also Daredevil series that he's currently doing, and Full Metal Jacket 1987. He was in that, and then he was in what was the Jennifer Lopez The Cell? I think he was in The Cell.
I don't think
he played the bad guy.
I haven't watched that.
We gotta watch it, dude. We gotta cover that maybe next season.
Maybe next season, you guys.
Yeah, Vincent.
Vote it in.
We gotta watch some Law and Order. You never liked Law and Order growing up?
What time was like Law and Order popular?
From
Give me time
1990 to pretty much now.
To pretty much now?
Yeah.
Listen, as an 11-year-old girl moving to the States, that was not my main...
My mom always had that shit on. We'd watch it all the time.
We watch novelas, man.
Okay.
Univision en Telemundo.
Law and Order, man. Special Victims Unit, Criminal Intent.
They didn't show with us the Law and Order. They didn't like us.
No, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it wasn't subbed. Sorry.
Gotcha. Who else do we have? We have Nicholas King as Bagul. So this guy, the only things I seen him in was Sinister and Sinister 2. Not that it matters. The guy doesn't say anything. He just wears a mask.
He was in Fantastic Four, Midnight Special, and Caged.
Caged.
Who
was he in Fantastic Four? Was he in what year?
The 2015.
Okay. Interesting.
Is it really that interesting? Let's see. Oh, he was in Paranormal Activity 3. He was doing stunts, though.
No. Cool.
Max Keeble's big movie. I think Orlando watched that.
And then we have Victoria Lee as Stephanie Stevenson. She plays the missing child. She, again, is actress known for roles in horror films. The notable works for me, the only ones I've seen was Sinister and Sinister 2.
Oh. And Fantastic Four, he helped with camera and technical stuff. My bad.
Okay, additional cast members to mention. We have Daniel Koch as Lawn Girl, Cameron Acacio as Barbecue Boy, Ethan Haberfield as Pool Party Boy, Blake Misery as Sleepy Time Boy, Travis Smiley as Anchor, Rachel Constantine as Mrs. Stevenson, uncredited. So, yeah, that's the cast. Mainly, you have a bunch of minor roles. The main guy is Ethan Hawke.
And you have the Oswald family.
Ethan Hawke and the daughter, basically.
I was very fucking misled by the daughter.
What do you mean?
I didn't think, yeah, she was there, but I feel like at one point they were putting more emphasis on, what's his name? Trevor?
Yeah, with his night terrors.
Yeah, those were intense.
I know.
It reminded me of you a little bit.
Wow.
I'm kidding. Yours are not that intense.
Jesus Christ.
You guys, one of these days, Richard's gonna punch me in his sleep.
No, not
I come to bed and you're like, swatting the sheets away.
Freaks me out.
It does. You jump.
So the director on this, and I was surprised to see, I've seen a number of them, of his movies, Scott Derrickson. Scott Derrickson is an American filmmaker known for his work in horror, supernatural thrillers, and more recently comic book blockbusters. He has a signature style that blends real-world dread with spiritual and supernatural themes. A little bit of his background, his education, he studied film in, Biola University, a Christian college, and later attended USC's School of Cinematic Arts. His early influence, his religious upbringing, heavily influenced his work. He's fascinated by the intersection of faith, evil, and the unknown. Derrickson's tone is horror isn't just about jump scares. He leans into existential fear, spiritual horror, and personal downfall. Think, what if the devil is already here and we invited him in kind of feel.
So in school, he did have a minor in theology, which I can see in his background, like directing fucking Exorcism of Emily Rose.
That's a big one. Another one, Deliver Us from Evil. Have you watched that one? It's a New York City detective.
Potentially.
It's pretty good. I remember seeing that in theaters.
So it sounds very, very, very familiar.
Dude, yeah, I've seen literally every movie he's made. Or at least the notable ones. Exorcism of Emily Rose in 2005.
Oh, this looks creepy as fuck.
Sinister, Deliver Us from Evil, Doctor Strange, The Black Phone.
No, I haven't seen Deliver Us from Evil.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. It's got, what's his name? Eric Bana.
Eric who?
Eric Bana.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the other guy, what's his name? From The Soup?
I don't know who.
Go over. Go over right there.
Joel McHale?
Joe McHale. There you go. I couldn't see that far. I was drawing a blank.
Go. Oh, Lulu Wilson is in here too?
Yeah.
She's like on every horror. I like her as a child horror star.
Yeah. But yeah, we should put that on the docket sometime too. It's pretty good.
It's on Doctor Strange.
Yes.
The Black Phones one and those.
So yeah, he's pretty good. I like his style. I've watched everything he has. Now the writer, this guy is a often collaborator with him. Robert Cargill. He co-wrote this with Scott Derrickson. So his background is a former film critic and screenwriter. Wrote for Ain't It Cool News and Spill.com under the name Massa Worm. Sinister was his screenwriting debut, and like I said earlier, the birth of Sinister, the idea came from a nightmare Cargill had after watching The Ring. In the dream, he saw family being hung from a tree and a mysterious figure watching from the shadows. This would become Bagul. He shared the dream with Derrickson, and together they crafted the script. So it was The Ring, but also I read elsewhere that subreddit too. He was on that.
I just saw it was from his nightmare.
Yeah.
I did see that in creating the villain for the film, his take on a new boogeyman was Mr. Boogie, which what we see the kids refer to it during the movie. His idea initially for the creature was to
From creating a horror icon.
You're interrupting me now.
I'm just, hey man, give credit where credit's due.
Oh, okay. He wanted it to be terrifying and seductive to children, luring them to their dooms as a sinister Willy Wonka-like figure. And
I can kind of see that, except he's less charismatic.
And just crazy.
Yeah.
That would have been creepy too. They were thinking Johnny Depp's Willy Wonka at the time, is what I saw. So
again, I didn't get that, but
so him and the director worked and decided to downplay the creature.
Perfect. Good call.
Just imitating how he manipulates the children into murder. And then they decided against making it just a normal demon, but rather focusing on maybe being a pagan deity in order to place it outside of the conceptual scope of any one particular religion, which I feel like, he utilized that minor.
I thought that was an awesome choice.
That was a good choice. And ultimately, the proper name was Bagul.
The name was a little, they could have came up with a better name. Look at my list if you want a reference.
Oh my gosh. You guys, if you want to throw contract work to Richard.
Please. I'm a gun for hire.
What I did find that was interesting was for the image of the monster, they essentially did another deep dive on Google of images that were creepy, and they found something that looked close to what we saw in the movie, and they bought the rights to it.
Dude, he originally was supposed to be more metal. He had like a metal outfit, like spikes and shit. He looked like he'd be in a goth, like demonic death metal band.
I'm glad they didn't.
I know. They picked a perfect look.
I don't see how a pagan deity would have had the spikes.
I know. The trench coat, long hair, that mask thing. Oh my God. It's awesome. So the chemistry between Robert Cargill and Scott Derrickson, these two have become a horror writing duo. Derrickson brings that heavy atmosphere and theological unease. Cargill brings twisted creativity and emotional grit. Together, they're responsible for some of the best horror moments of the last decade. Which I'd have to agree. With the movies, you haven't seen a couple of them, but even Doctor Strange has some good horror elements in it.
Doctor Strange. How about? Yeah, I've seen Doctor Strange. I like Doctor Strange.
Me too.
With what's it, Benedict Cumberbatch?
Benedict Cumberbatch. Yep. So yeah, that was it. Do you have anything else to add?
Nope. That's all I have, senor.
All right.
So far.
We're an hour in. Should we take a quick commercial break?
Sure thing.
All right, guys. Make sure to listen to our ad. Safe Nest Locks. Lock your children at your doors. All right, we'll be right back. Hey folks, parenting's hard, right? But parenting a child who's been whispering Latin in the dark and drawing hangings in crayon, that's a different level.
That's why there's Safe Nest Locks, the only bedroom door lock system designed to keep your child out when they've been listening to too much of that evil rock music and worshiping ancient pagan deities through vintage film.
Sure, it could be just a phase, or it could be the ghoul. Either way, I take the chances, am I right?
Our patented double reinforced locks are soundproof. They're demon resistant and stylish enough to match any nursery, den, or panic room.
Quick disclaimer, not FDA approved for use against actual demons. Side effects may include insomnia, guilt, and child-on-parent acts incidents.
Safe Nest Locks, because you brought them into this world, but now they're trying to take you out. And we're back!
Holy shit. Man, okay, we're back.
We hope you guys enjoyed that beautiful, beautiful advertisement from our sponsors today.
Yeah. Safe Nest Locks. What's up?
Purchase today, get a, 10% off? I don't know.
Nah, man. With all the tariffs? Nah, dog.
Not a... Pay right now. It'll be delivered to your house by tomorrow for an extra $10.99.
No.
If you wait until next week, it's gonna be $20.99.
It's still on the ship in China, okay?
I know, but it's just gonna go up, man. I'm setting up my own tariffs. I'm gonna be fucking rich.
Okay. Anyways, we're back. I'm gonna just keep on leading in next time.
Really? You don't like my enthusiasm?
I'm kidding. I love it.
I thought I did great.
I'm kidding. You always do great. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Yep. You're super wonderful.
No. This is the safe word is pineapple, guys.
Spumoni.
Spumoni? I like, oh yeah.
So, man, we haven't done this in a while, I feel like. It's been a couple weeks. Plot summary. Now, have you wrote a plot? I know you were kind of last minute in this, so I don't know how polished it is, but how do you feel about yours?
I feel pretty confident. I give it 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10? That's mid-grade, dog.
All my shit is mid-grade.
I'm giving mine mid-grade.
You're giving yours mid-grade?
Yeah, go first. Let's see how.
I always go fucking first. I don't know how today makes a difference.
Okay, let's hear.
I would have had more time to like deliver my inspiration, but I had to drive us around. No comment. Wow, you're quiet for once. Are you gonna break out of character?
I drive everywhere, Angela.
So do I. So do I.
Who drove to
Costco to buy groceries?
Me.
You wanted to take your car.
No.
Oh.
Anyways, plot. Quit waffling here, okay?
I'm waffling, man. I just speak truths to the masses. Okay, are you ready? It's gonna be hot. All right. A desperate author with only one cardigan chasing his next 15 minutes of fame makes an impulsive decision to pack his family and move them into the crime scene of his next book. Hiding more secrets than a conspiracy theorist, Ellison, in his selfishness, keeps from his family all the weird shit happening in the new house after watching some homemade videos. And no, not the kind your parents watch late at night. Refusing to accept what's happening as real, Ellison quickly starts being stalked by small mysterious ghosts, and the subject of his madness, Bagul, child predator and soul eater. By the time shit hits the fan, it's just about 7 days too late, and his time is up. Will Ellison find a way to save his family from this terrifying entity, or will they become the next all-you-can-eat buffet? Bum, bum, bum. Hashtag all-you-can-eat. The end.
He only eats the children.
He also eats the families.
No, he's just hacks them up. I'm kidding. It was good. Bravo.
You fucking just...
I love you. That was great.
He is a soul eater, is he not?
Yes, children's soul eater.
Well, I didn't say them. I said, will he save his family from the terrifying entity, or will they become the next all-you-can-eat buffet? Because at this time, it was either of the kids that he would eat.
True.
Man, why are you going to ruin my stuff?
Are you ready for mine?
No. It was good, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. A washed-up true crime writer moves his family into a murder house without letting them know. Because if there's one thing dads love more than ignoring red flags, it's chasing the fame. They peaked with in 1998. Go Millgrove Gorillas, state champs, baby.
Jesus.
In the attic, he finds a box of cursed Super 8 films featuring families getting wiped out in increasingly creative ways. Who made them? Bagul, a demon with a vibe of goth uncle who definitely shouldn't be near children, yet somehow he keeps recruiting them like he's running a satanic Boy Scout troop. Instead of setting the house on fire like a sane person, Ellison pours a glass of bourbon, ignores his wife, and starts binge watching the snuff reels like it's research for a big comeback. Spoiler, it's not. It's one-way trip to demonic hell. As the walls start whispering and the kids start drawing family murder scenes, one thing becomes clear. This isn't a horror story. It's a midlife crisis with a body count. And Bagul, he's already penciling in his next murder montage, just waiting for Daddy Dearest to finish his meltdown.
Bom, bom, bom. Beautiful. I have 2 comments.
My execution. Okay, the first part was supposed to be funnier. That was my bad. So
You're being too harsh on yourself.
So
And I'm gonna keep my comments to myself.
No, you can give it, but telling them, because there's one thing dads love more than ignoring red flags is chasing that fame they peaked with in high school in 1998, and it was supposed to be the college, or your high school football days. Go Millgrove Gorillas, state champs, baby.
Were?
No, we were Shado Highlanders. I just like Millgrove Gorillas.
Oh my gosh.
I made that one up. I don't even know if they're real. Anyways, what were your critiques on mine?
Well, since you critique my plot, Bagul didn't record the videos. It was the children recording the videos.
Some of them.
No.
Because there's an incident with the lawnmower one. Who's recording, walking in, looking in the window, looking in the window, the little girl's in the room,
She was the one.
Or who's recording the family when they're fishing because the kid's there?
Oh, not always, okay, but partially. And I had my second comment. I forgot it.
Okay, what is it?
I forgot. Read the last part.
Is he already penciling in his next murder montage, or just waiting for Daddy Dearest to finish his meltdown?
No, that wasn't it.
As the walls start whispering and the kids start drawing family murder scenes, one thing becomes clear. This isn't a horror story.
That's not it. There was something else.
I can't help you. Ellison pours a glass of bourbon, ignores his wife, and starts binge watching these snuff reels like it's a research for his big comeback. Spoiler alert, it's not. It's a one-way trip to demonic hell.
Oh, he's not a demon. He's a deity.
What's the difference?
A pagan deity.
What's the difference?
So it wasn't associated with a religion.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. I just wanted to, give you shit. You gave me shit. I'm kidding. It was good.
Tomato.
Oh, you can't take my saying.
That's not your saying. That's everybody's.
I'm the only one that says it in this house.
Oh, my God.
Good job, Richard.
Thanks.
Good job, Angela.
You just made me
Good
go
job,
through my
Angeles.
plot 3 times. Fuck. Can't win with you. So, yeah. I mean, moving in, do you want to do the moments that matter?
Sure.
Yeah. I think to start it off, though, the movie opens up with a family being hanged from a tree. It's complete silence, no music, no context, just the vibe of people hanging.
Literally.
Nothing like starting a film with immediate trauma. It's like the tree of life, but everyone dies in the first 10 seconds.
Oh my God.
This is like, it's perfect. This is kind of like the equivalent of an Instagram or a TikTok reel. It catches you right in the beginning in like the first seconds. Just like pop. It's like, whoa, what's going on here? Burlap sacks on their head, rope. They're clearly like they're standing there. And then all of a sudden you see this like ghost saw going up and down, sawing the branch. And then they slowly raise up, kicking their feet. Insane.
This scene, they used stunts. Apparently, and while they were filming, the stunt director fucked up a little bit on one of the nooses, and one of them accidentally did choke for a little bit.
I seen that one. He was panicking at the end. He's like, I can see it.
I saw it said that the director was fired immediately. We can't be choking for real life.
Yeah, it's fucked up, dog. It's fucked up.
The guy was like, oh, shit.
I thought this was, I mean, shit, the stunts get even worse throughout the movie, so... Yeah, I thought this scene, how'd you feel about it? Like,
it did grab you.
Like, this is your first time seeing it. I can't remember the initial feeling when I just remember this is fucked.
I was just like, shit, this is dark.
It's intense.
People are dying right away.
Yeah. It's kind of like Faces of Death.
And then because it was like the greediness of the film 8.
The Super
Mini,
8.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, holy bananas.
Yeah, so that was that kicks off the whole feeling of this movie. So it's a slow burn, but they give you these spots, these pockets in this movie that fucking just hit you. So just when it's like kind of slow, it's like, okay, move on. It's like, boom, it gives you that or gives you this.
Boom.
So it gave you enough to invest you in the story. You see that hanging, it invests you, and you go along, you see our characters, and then you see again, boom, where the family moves into the murder house.
Yeah.
That he doesn't tell. He doesn't tell his family. They're reluctantly. You get the vibe that they're sick of this guy's shit. Like, clearly, he hasn't. They set the story up. His first hit was 15 years prior, and it was Kentucky Blood.
His wife calls him out on it
a couple times, but they really show this, and they're like, Dad, what the fuck are we here for again? Because he's had 2 books since, and they were failures. One, they imply that he screwed up.
And like a murderer got free or someone got...
Yeah, because the cop mentions it.
Yeah.
And the cops also, when they're moving in, are stopping by. It's a small town feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the cop, the sheriff, is at the door or at the driveway, staring at him, comes out, talks to him. He's like, hey, man, I don't like what you're doing here. You need to go. And they set that up. Your last 2 books were wrong. You were right on Kentucky Blood, but the other 2 were terrible. They were bad choices. And he's denying. He's like, whatever, because he's so blinded. He wants a comeback. He's chasing that fame, and he doesn't care. And then this implies, and we don't know quite yet, but this is the house that they're moving into. And the cop even mentions, he's like, hey, man, this is in bad taste, even for you. And then his wife's still oblivious. What is he talking about?
She's like, we didn't move to a murder down the street from our murder house again, did we? So he's done this shit before to them.
And just when he's doing it, she's like, don't tell me. But then the idiot does say something. He's like, no, we didn't.
Well, he didn't literally move down the street, which, technicalities, he was not lying.
And then as they get settled in, he's in his office. This happens pretty quick. He then, in the attic, finds a box of Super 8 film. And it's called, what is it? It's home movies.
Yeah.
In the attic. It's never a good thing in horror movies when you find something that's been there before. That's kind of the trope, right? Pro tip, if you find something in the attic that wasn't in your U-Haul, don't watch it, burn it, or throw it away,
You wouldn't?
Oh, I would, definitely.
I was like, I feel like you would be nosing me like, oh my God, what is this?
Oh my God. Yeah, I would. I'd be like, check this shit out. This is awesome.
There's people dying in here.
Check out these snuff films, dude. This is tight. Faces of Death. I loved them as a kid. Anyways, that's kind of the second leading into what did you have next after this? Or what was your big moment?
I think, so the movies start happening. I think the big moment for me was everybody goes to bed and he watches one of the first films, and it's the family.
Barbecue 79.
No, it's the family hanging. The first film that he watches.
Oh, shit. That's right.
And so they're all hanging. You see a tree branch broken. Next day, he goes outside of the backyard, and it's the broken branch. And then you realize that they're in, because the sheriff made a comment, but he didn't say it.
And when you initially because did you know initially they lived in the house?
No.
Like they're moving into it? Okay.
No, I didn't. And so he saw that movie, the snuff film. And then the next day, going to his backyard in the exact same tree, he looks right at it. And I was like, oh, shit, they are in
the house.
The house. That was like, oh, you fucked up, buddy.
What if I did that for our podcast?
What?
We moved into one of the filming locations where someone died, like the girl, Caroline.
You're stupid.
Would you just Richard, no, we're not doing this?
Yeah, I would. That's the thing that I mentioned earlier. I was like, in 2012, there was internet. If he had already pulled this stunt on the family before, I would have done some research and be like, where the fuck are you moving us to?
Yeah, but
not
she's a trusting, loving wife. She's not you questioning everything
I love you, but I would just be like, yeah, let's back up and move into this random ass house. How did you find it, Richard?
I'm like, don't worry about it.
I'd be like, oh,
That's what's
no,
up.
I'm fucking worried about it.
So yeah, but so after he watches that film, he's like, what the fuck? Was not expecting watching them hanging. Now, what we seen too, creepy stuff are happening after the fact.
He hears a noise. His kids are up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and it's Ashley, right? His daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't realize it yet, but it's a creepy setting. He's walking around the house. All of a sudden, she's in the laundry room, and she's like, I can't find the bathroom.
Oh, the other thing, I missed it. It was so subtle when they first moved in that first day.
Yeah.
She's drawing in her bedroom, and they told her she can color and draw on the walls in her bedroom.
Yeah.
Nowhere else. She's drawing a picture of that little girl that's missing, the one that he's there to write the book about.
What do you mean?
The little girl that has a red bow.
Yeah.
She drew her, Ashley, his daughter,
How do you know?
on the first day.
How do you
It
know?
shows. It's very subtle. It goes
What if
quick.
it's her?
She doesn't have a red bow. The missing little girl that he's there for, the movie, when he saw
Yeah.
it, yes, it was very prominent, the red bow that she has on her
Interesting.
hair.
Okay. What was up with
So-
some of those drawings? The drawings are okay, but then there was just like a bunch of scribble all over them. Did you notice that?
Maybe it was the children.
Was it supposed to be rain?
I don't know. Maybe the other kids were bored and they were
Because
drawing over
well,
it.
I was like, this looks like shit, dude. And they're like, dude, these are so amazing.
Some of them were good.
The drawings are, but then the scribbles all over. If you go back, it must have like been tried to be rain, but how depressing.
Mm.
I'm like, is my kid depressed? What's going on here?
They were expressing their inner thoughts and feelings, okay?
Very progressive.
Okay, you're so dumb.
Yeah, so that, and then is this the scene where he finds Trevor, his son, in the box? Or is that later?
Is it the first night? I don't remember.
I think it's the first night because there's boxes still.
Oh, yeah. Oh, after.
But he does that creepy
So
Satan
Ashley,
thing.
he puts Ashley back to sleep, the daughter, goes back to keep watching the movies, hears another noise, and he gets up and he's like, God damn it, Ashley. And he wakes up thinking she's wandering again.
Yeah.
And this time, the noise is coming from down the hall, and there's a box in the middle of the hallway.
Yeah, he's like, whoa.
And he walks up to it, and it moves very slowly.
Yeah.
And then the kid pops out of there doing like a crab walk.
Yeah, like backwards.
And
he's
looks
like,
at him and screams.
yeah, it was intense. At first, I didn't realize who it was.
I thought it was one of the ghosts.
I'm like, is this the kid from The Grudge? And then, but he screams, and then he carries him, and he takes him outside. Is it the cold air to wake him up?
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
Why does my screen keep going to sleep?
You gotta check your settings.
I don't know, man. Yeah, that did get me, the jump scare of him taking the kid coming out of the box like that.
Yeah. And then they're like night terrors. He's had these in the past, but he's too old to be having these, which is weird, they said.
And they hadn't, and it sounds like they had gone away for some time now.
Right. Which they're coming back because of the supernatural stuff. Mr. Boogie is triggering this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day, I think, right?
Maybe.
The next day, because he goes to bed, all's well. And then the next movie, so he's going one by one on these films, and it takes a while to get through. But he watches Barbecue 79.
The barbecue one?
Yeah. And it starts with it 79, so the guy looks like Elvis, Las Vegas Elvis. He's got the mutton chops, the hair, the rings.
Okay.
Very 70s, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're fishing, having a good time, and showing the family kind of doing their thing. And then all of a sudden it cuts to creepy music, and the car is like chained up, and it's got like this deity like symbol on the
hood.
Yeah, the hood. And all of a sudden you see this creepy Super 8 film focusing in the windows. You see people in there, the mom. And you see the like one of the kids' feet, and then the dad in the passenger
And you
or the
see
front seat.
gasoline tanks inside of it.
Yes, the gasoline tanks. And then all of a sudden you see this big flame thrown into the car, and the car is lit on fire. He lights his family on fire. But you don't know it's the kid yet. What was going on in your mind? Did you put two and two together that was the kids?
No,
doing
you
this?
didn't think it was the kids. Like,
I thought it was Bagul, dude.
yeah, I thought it was the entity
Mhm.
that was doing this, because to this point, nobody knew that the kids, like, they only knew about the girl, the most recent one that she was missing.
Right.
But, I mean, the police weren't aware that there were other similar cases.
Yeah. So they weren't tying them together because they're so far apart and
Away from each other, it sounds like.
And sometimes years, they just didn't put these together, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this one fucks the guy up. He's like, oh man, this is terrible. So he has to keep watching them, and he's getting notes, doing research. He's got the trope of yarn on the wall, and he's tacking things together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. At this point, he's like, what the hell? It's an intense film. This is where now is this the one where Trevor comes out of the box?
He already did.
And then he does another thing, doesn't he? But not yet.
No.
They do mention the next day. They do mention the next day where, and we don't have to go in sequential order here. And we can just bring up the scene. So, because there's a point where Trevor, because you said you were confused by the kids, because Trevor at school, for some reason, he drew on the board
with permanent marker
of the family that was hanging.
Yeah.
My thing is, though, they don't touch on that enough, and I think they did that a disservice because it's like, wait, he's awake, where Ashley wasn't necessarily awake, or maybe she was at night. It was at night, though. So he did this consciously on the board.
Oh, it sounds like some kids told him about it at school.
But he drew it.
And then he drew the exact scene.
Yeah. But how do you know the exact scene?
Well, they said that he drew kids hanging on the board. But I don't know. Maybe he was acting out. Maybe he's being affected by these night terrors that are coming in. Or maybe in the nightmare he's seeing the scenes of what happened there before.
Yeah.
There's lots of ifs.
Well, that's this part of the movie I didn't like necessarily because it just didn't make sense. It was filler. It was fluff. They didn't do a lot of detail work into this kid's story or the wife or Ashley, really.
Well, the wife was there to be a supporting role.
This movie never leaves the house, by the way. Except when they go to their new house.
When they try to leave.
Yeah.
It was their old house.
Yeah, it never leaves Ethan Hawke, pretty much.
No, the other scene that was kind of, you start seeing a relation is when he climbs up the attic, gets scared by like the snake or the scorpion or something, and he falls through, remember? And he's home alone. So the ambulance.
That's another thing that you don't catch until if you watch the second time. The scorpion's a part of that.
Yeah.
And the snake. That's a part of that too, right?
Mm-hmm. They're different symbols for Bagul is how he appears. He's different physical forms, I guess.
Yeah. So he killed Bagul in the beginning?
Twice, yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Wait, did he kill the snake?
No.
Oh, he just tried to stab it. But he did step on the scorpion.
Yeah.
So at one point when he falls,
he dropped a box on the scorpion.
The deputy so-and-so, he comes in, and so the sheriff was very, like, the sheriff doesn't want him there, but the deputy, he does like his books.
And he's a huge fan, and he wants to be a part of the book. He wants to be in the acknowledgments.
He's like, your other books, you give credit to someone, I can be your someone, because initially...
He's like, you mean the acknowledgement?
Yeah, because the sheriff tells him, he's like, our office is not going to help you provide any resources or anything for your research. So it comes down to them, and he's like, as long as the sheriff doesn't know, I can help you if you need to research into something, give you some backgrounds. And this is when Ellison, he's like, all right, can you look up these 2 murders of these and see if there's any relation? So the deputy takes that back with him. And then comes back again and tells him that that's when they make the connection that the murders, like the families at first, they didn't have anything in common with each other that they could see from being an outsider. But when they started looking into them, at one point, they lived in each other's houses.
Right.
So they're like, maybe that's the connection. But at this point, and then even Ellison, he's like, oh, you want to see what I'm working on? Takes him into his office and show him
at first,
the entire thing.
At first, he's in the office. He's like, you need to get out of here. This is my personal office. Please. And the guy's like, no, stop. I'm not going to fucking interfere, but I want to help you.
Yeah.
So, and then he's got him doing some work, doing research, because he's putting 2 and 2 together. He's like, whoa, these are very similar. And he's just trying to figure out where they're at.
And at this point...
the deputy is going to find this for him.
At this point, they think it's a serial killer.
No. the deputy doesn't, but he's like trying to be like, whoa, we got something big here. And he thinks, because he's like, dude, this book's going to be massive.
Well, no, I think they make it sound like they think maybe it's one person going and killing the families across.
Yeah, well, no, because he
Following
tells
them.
the deputy, he's like, hey, do you think these are related? He's like, nah, this is just research. Because he doesn't want the guy to do it. But the deputy's smart enough, when he does bring back the information, he's like, hey, man, I took classes on this detective work. These are connected.
In the meantime, there's a lot of supernatural shit going on in the house.
Yeah.
And he's just fucking ignoring it.
He's not ignoring it. It's freaking him out. But he's so blinded by wanting to be famous again and wanting his another 15 minutes of fame that he's willing to work through that, and he pushes it down. He hates it in the moment, but then you give it time to rest. Like, he gives it the next day and he's like, oh, I'm just going to keep working.
The thing that starts happening is the number one rule that the mom said at the beginning was he locks his office because she doesn't want the kids in there seeing his work.
And he does. It shows him locking it.
Yeah, locking it every time. And the recurring thing that starts happening is he goes to bed and in the middle of the night,
And the
around
film's
3 a.m., he hears the movie, the camera going.
Yeah.
And he gets up every time, and every time the office is unlocked and the movies are just playing on their own and there's no one. I was expecting every time he walked in there,
watching it.
the kids, one of the two kids in there watching it, or one of the ghosts that slowly we start seeing creeping more into the camera.
That would have been good, like Stephanie, the girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if she was watching it?
Yeah.
Or what if his daughter? That would have been better, I think, too. Like, his daughter accidentally seeing the film on, because he goes and investigates or something. And then,
he keeps going and checking, and it's never.
Yeah.
There's never anyone in there. He slowly starts coming to see that in all of these films, at one point or another, there's a very quick image of Bagul and Bagul, yes, on the movies. And at one point, this is where he starts putting them into, because one of them at one point lights up on fire, remember?
Yeah. Well, he puts it on pause, or he holds the frame.
Oh,
and,
he's looking
the lamp,
at the image.
Because the lamp is hot, it burns through the film.
Is it, or was it?
Yeah,
Bagul?
that's why, like, in VHSs, you weren't supposed to, like, stop it either or ruin it. But not necessarily with the light, but...
Yeah, so it lights up on fire, and this is where he starts transcribing them into digital, the films, and he starts pausing more and then on Bagul and starts printing those images of it.
Yeah.
And keeping them. One of those nights that he's up checking around to see who the hell got the movie going, he looks outside because the image that he paused on the screen is of their backyard.
Yeah.
And
so he's watching Pool Party. What was it? Pool Party 68 or something like that?
Something.
And this one was creepy too. I'm not going to lie. This one kind of disturbed me.
Are you going to talk about what happens on the...
He's slowly pulling what are they, beach chairs? Pool chairs.
So they're lined up on the side of the pool, all of them with people tied down to all of them, and it's at night.
Yeah, and he's pulling them in to the pool one by one. You just see the feet moving; they're drowning one by one.
That was pretty cool looking.
Now, you said you found that this actual people
also
were
by stunts,
in there.
Yeah. So they really tied them down to the chairs, pulled them down. There were professional divers at the bottom of the pool with oxygen tanks giving them to the actors while they were filming this. And the dude that played Bagul, they put weighted shoes on him to hold him at the bottom of the pool. And they said it was a really, really difficult scene to get because they had to be careful of how long they were keeping all the actors underwater. And because they were trying to keep those snuff films look legitimate, they filmed all of those on the Super 8 film. So they wanted to make sure that the lighting was good enough, that they were getting the images correctly, because the chances of having to redo that scene, they were going to be really hard. But yeah, it was a lot to go into it. But it looks good.
Intense.
Yeah, you see the feet just waving side to side, slowly, barely.
Yeah, that was intense. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Another big scene that I have, two, another one is the Skype call with the professor was a big moment because this is where we get it's kind of an obvious one, and usually I'm kind of on movies for their exposition dumps.
Okay.
And this one is an exposition dump. It explains who Bagul is by specifically a college teacher giving you a course on this made-up deity.
Oh, well,
it felt kind of forced.
The deputy connected them. Remember, he's like, you might want to reach over to the university.
Because the writers needed a way to explain who this deity was, this character. And then entered Vincent D'Onofrio. And my thing is, they could have done such a better job at giving us this exposition.
How would you do that?
It certainly wouldn't be through Skype, a Skype computer. Like, hey, man,
$3 million, Richard.
I know,
They
like
had
a
to take
Teams
employees
meeting.
in one.
I get it. But you could have did a little bit better. Like, you could have stumbled upon Bagul's like, I don't know. It could be like a book or
article.
through, yeah, well, not an article, but like it could be in the movies. It could be somewhere where it was a little more of a puzzle, but I get it with budget, but this was kind of a easy thing for me. I guess if you gave me enough time to think about it, I could create something a little bit better.
Oh.
That's my one. I love this movie, but that's one that I'm like, that's kind of cheesy.
Oh. I like it. It was coming from a professional, and I don't know, because if it was, a pagan deity, those are so aged and took place so long ago and everything's been destroyed. How do you get that info, if it was in a book or something?
But that's what I'm saying. It would have to be through the material Bagul's giving you.
But I don't think Bagul wants to be known like that.
He does, because he wants to expand out. He wants to get as much children as he can.
But I don't know that he's trying to throw his, resume out there.
I think he's trying to be out there.
Well, he wants to expand and just eat more children, but
yeah,
I don't know. I see where you're coming from. You don't like info dumps.
I hate exposition dumps. You're pretty much, and I'll get off my stool here, but with exposition dumps, and I hate Marvel does it. A lot of movies these days do it. They don't give the audience enough credit for being smart enough to understand what's going on.
I'm not smart enough, so I appreciate
you gotta that's the fun of it though for me, is dissecting it, puzzles, putting it all together. It's like, oh, this is why. But when they dump it all, it's like, it kind of ruins some of the imagination, some of the fun of it, for me at least.
Okay.
Just give us enough credit, God damn it.
Throw Richard some puzzles.
Yeah.
More puzzles.
Let us think, man.
Let him figure it out on his own.
Yeah, or let us all figure out. I mean, we've watched enough of these to understand. You know what I mean?
That's your personal opinion, man.
Damn. Wow. You thrown that out twice, bro.
I like it because I don't know that I would have been able to you're better, I don't know, when we watch these movies, you call out things that I'm not seeing right away. You're like, this is going to happen.
So I watch a lot. I'm a lot of detail guy. Like you in Vienna, it pisses me off. You guys will start talking and stuff. I'm like, we're missing some of the details here. When I'm watching this to get the details. Not that it's a bad thing. It's supposed to be fun to watch them. But for me, I'm such detail orientated. I'm watching every aspect of it. So I'm like, God, you're missing this. Which happens. Or you're on your phone or you're doing something. I'm like, how is she taking this in? This is me watching that movie in Spanish, but I'm actually putting my guitar together.
I paid more attention than that. A lot more attention than that. You weren't even in the same room with me.
Just what? The dining room and living room are the same room.
There's
no walls.
rooms. They have two different names.
Oh, fuck.
Anyways.
So yeah, that was we see him twice, small role again, the professor. So now the biggest scene, I think the most traumatic scene.
Well, did you even explain who Bagul was?
We did earlier.
Oh, okay.
He's a deity.
From the ancient times, nobody's supposed to be. Oh, and then in this, later on, there's another call. And the professor has some books that he found and images. And this is
because he asked, he's like, I need all the information you have, because they're like, has there been another one? And the professor asked, like, another killing, and Ellison's like, yes. He's like, well, give me all the information you have. And then he has a follow-up phone call about it.
But that's after they get back to their old house, isn't it?
Yeah. Can you fix your settings on your computer?
I don't know how to do it. I tried.
Oh, it's like the sleep timer.
I know.
So the next biggest scene, and this is probably the biggest scene, I'll just kill usually we say what's our favorite scene. Favorite kill? I would say the lawnmower scene. It doesn't show a whole lot, but it is effective, wouldn't you say?
That's my favorite one too.
Yeah. Man, I'm a 35-year-old man and I love doing lawn work. So I'm like, wow.
Imagining this was
yeah, I'm just like a bad day. I'm like, I can run over my enemies right now.
Stupid.
Except I use an electric lawnmower, so
oh my God,
that ain't killing no one.
Damage.
But no, when they run over that person, like the research showed in that science deal, man, it is intense. Makes you kind of cringe because you just imagine how mangled that face is.
Well, you don't see, like, there's just the camera moving through around. And again, this all happened at nighttime.
Yeah.
And
the only one that was daytime was the hanging, the trees.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of early morning.
And there's recording, there's this family in a living room somewhere. And then the next thing you know, this lawnmower,
But
someone is
recording them in their living room.
Someone is pushing the lawnmower, and you're just seeing this point of view, essentially, of someone pushing the lawnmower at night. And it's going through, and you don't know where it's going. And then out of fucking nowhere, there's a person laying tied up and just runs over their face.
Yeah, pretty intense. So at this point, we're starting to get closer to the final climax here. So one of the scary moments at night, the film reel rolls again, right? He wakes up from a dead sleep. He starts walking around. So before this a little bit, the scene of another night one is when he's outside, he hears noises, and then he goes to his office and he's like, because he has now still frames of Bagul that he caught on the Super 8 that he recorded.
Okay.
And he has the Bagul in the bushes, right? Well, he looks out, he's like, whoa, those are the bushes. So he lifts up and then he puts the picture down and Bagul's out there.
That was scary too.
Freaky.
Yeah.
So he goes out there and he has a bat and a light. And he's like, what the hell? He hears something rumbling or like ruffling around.
This was creepy too.
It's Trevor again.
Yeah.
And he's naked in the bushes.
And his eyes are just fucking rolling.
Yeah.
Just like, was he saying? He was mumbling almost,
yeah,
right?
He was like having a night terror, but yeah.
In the fucking bushes.
Yeah.
So did Bagul pull him out there?
I think that's what was happening.
Was he going to take both of the kids?
I don't know. He wasn't taking both.
Just fucking with them?
His power, yeah. He can manipulate. But yeah, so then he brings him inside. He goes back outside, and then there's this dog. Is it the neighbor's dog? Or was this dog tied to anything?
Demon.
Is this dog tied to anything like previously in the movies? I couldn't put two and two together.
No, I think he was just there as a representation that they were fucking with him.
And it was a mean dog at first, and the dog was about ready to kick his ass, bite him. But then the dog sees the ghost of the kids in the back.
Yeah, behind. And we see the ghost of the kids several times, but Ellison is not seeing them. At least he's not giving them any reaction.
The initial time he sees them somewhat is when he falls through the attic and they're pulling him down, and it's recorded on his phone.
Oh, yeah.
He sees those baby hands like pulling him down. Mm-hmm. That's the only time he sees kids, and he acknowledges.
And they tell him to shut the fuck up because they're watching a movie.
Wait, what?
At one point, he goes in the attic and all the kids are sitting up there and they're watching.
And that's the final. That's one of the final scenes.
Oh, okay.
That he does acknowledge them, but up until that point, it was the baby hands they seen, and then up at the attic.
It's really creepy because one of the scenes that really got me was he's walking around his house in the dark, following the noises. And he's in the kitchen or the dining room.
Yeah.
And you see that little girl that's missing the last one. I can't remember her name. With the red bow. She's right next to him, behind him.
Yeah.
And she just has that ghost face look to her.
So those are intense. because before he goes in the attic, he is walking around slowly, and these kids are like moving
running
slow.
from
And
one side of the hall to the
Creepy
other.
because they're like, oh, they're just about to touch him, and he doesn't see any of them.
No, and they're so close to him.
And then that's when he goes up to the attic, and then he sees them all, and they're all give him the shush deal.
Yeah.
And he's like, holy shit. And that's when we see Bagul. He like puts his head down in his face, and then he falls down, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's when he's freaked out, and they pack up and get the fuck out of there, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. He's like, okay, we're done. He takes the films outside and burns them.
And then he's like, get the kids, grab what you can.
Like
we're
right
getting the hell out of here. And as they're leaving town, too, they're speeding, and then the sheriff pulls them over, gonna give him a ticket. But he's like, hey, man, I'm taking your advice. I'm leaving. He's like, oh, you got your book done? He's like, there ain't no book. And then he's like, oh, well, I didn't see anything then. And rips up the ticket.
Yeah, he let him go. So they go back to their old house because this entire time it's been on the market.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a mansion. There's like a fucking stairway, wooden stairway is just massive.
And all this time, Deputy so-and-so is trying to call him all day long. And he keeps ignoring it because he told his wife, I'm not writing the book, even though he's still thinking about writing that book.
Oh, yeah.
But he is ignoring him. And then they're getting settled in. Everybody's asleep. At this point, it's late at night again. He's at his laptop, and he's drinking a mug, which plays significance here. And then there's like a little note underneath from his daughter. But he's looking at the laptop. All of a sudden,
this is when the professor also calls him.
Well, he has a message from the professor, and then he makes a Skype call to him. And he's like, oh, sorry about so late of an hour, but I finally got your research. Sorry it took so long. And he starts explaining another exposition dump towards the ending of this movie. What's he say?
I think this is where he tells him that there's very limited content of Bagul. It's all been destroyed. Shows him those pictures. We see a scorpion, a snake, and then like a person shape.
Ellison at this point's putting it together. He's like the scorpion and the snake.
He's seen all three of them.
Yeah.
Everything's been destroyed to limit the deity spreading around.
Well,
we already knew he's a soul eater.
Essentially, yeah, the children of Soul Eater or whatever.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, burn the films. And after this call, he deletes all the electronic.
No. He's like, hey, man, how do I get rid of this? What happens if you burn it? He's like, what are you talking about? Like, if they did that? He's like, no. He's like, no. What if you just get rid of it? He's like, I'm not sure what you're talking about. He's like, are you all right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, whatever. And then he hangs up with him, and he deletes all that, like you're saying,
from his computer.
He drinks his last swig of coffee, and he's looking at it, and he sees the note, because now, well, not quite yet. He answers the phone because Deputy So-So calls again. He's like, dude, what the fuck do you want?
And he's weird about it. He's like, you see what time it is?
Yeah, he's like, I've been trying to call you all day. Dude, you completed the cycle. You moved. And adding to my point, you move and it kills. That was their point of the movie.
That was their connection. He said at every family, though, all the family members lived, but one of the children has gone missing from every single family.
And they've all lived in the same house up until they moved to the next one, and that's when they died. He's like, you completed the cycle. You are in trouble. And he's like, oh, yeah. And he hangs up, but he's getting woozy. I'm getting woozier, man. But then he's like looking at the mug. He's like, whoa, I'm fucked up. And he sees like Bagul, you know.
What did he say?
Jism. I don't know.
Oh, there's something green at the bottom of the coffee mug.
Bagul goo.
Bagul juice?
Yeah, he just...
That should be an energy drink. Bagul juice.
Yeah, no. But,
no, way to shut my ideas down.
He looks and he's just like, oh shit. And then he looks at the note from his daughter. He's like, oh no.
This is good night, daddy, or something.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he falls down. And then he sees his daughter, right?
Approaching towards him with
an axe.
Mini 8. With a Super 8.
Super 8. And then he wakes up again because he passes out. He wakes up by the fire. And he's just like, whoa, tied up.
Him, his
duct
wife,
tape on his
Trevor.
mouth, similar to the other movies. Yeah, his wife, Trevor, they're both still asleep, but he wakes up. He's like, what the hell? And this is where we see his daughter, Ashley,
Mm-hmm.
picks up, she has the axe and picks it up, and that's all we see. And that's the end of the movie, right?
Then we see her. She sees the ghost children are at her house now.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of running around, having the best of their lives. And she starts kind of following them around. And as she's walking down the hall, we see the walls just covered in blood. And she's been drawing.
Because that's her thing. She's an artist.
Yeah, so she's been drawing with blood from her family all over the walls.
And you see the deity
at the end, the
sign.
symbol of Bagul.
Yeah.
And does she follow them to the attic? I feel like...
No, it's not the attic, but Bagul carries her.
No, she's watching. So she recorded everything, and then she sits at her dad's chair in the same office, and she's watching the movie that she just made.
Yeah.
And at the very end, we see all the kids, and we see Bagul, and he turns his head kind of sideways, and so does she.
Yeah.
And then he comes up from behind her and picks her up, and they just disappear.
Carry her into the Super 8.
Into the Super 8
film.
Ba-ba-da-da.
And that's the ending of it. Now, how'd you feel about that ending?
It was okay.
It was okay. You didn't like it?
It was just anticlimactic.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I wish because it implied that, because it shows that she's drawing her final image on that little box board thing, the shoebox cover thing.
Oh yeah,
and it shows the bodies instead of showing the real bodies. I think they had to agree with the studio; they wouldn't show it, but it showed the bodies, the heads, torsos, legs, all cut up. She cut up and chopped up everybody.
I did see the movie. They had no cussing, no nudity, and they tried to limit a lot of stuff. They were aiming at a PG-13.
Yeah.
But they said that there was still too much violence and blood.
Thank God.
And they rated it R.
Yeah, I think it should have been rated R.
Yeah.
But it could have been a little bit better with that. But you know me, I'm a gore hound.
I mean, at that point, if you're already rated R, push it a little bit.
Yeah, just push it a little more, a little bit further. But no.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes sense because, yes, by this time,
I like
her
the Doom.
soul, she had gone into the dark side.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he picked her up. It was another kid.
Yeah, I liked it.
That
Doom.
it took.
And that, kids, is what we call a trap.
A trap.
You didn't escape the curse. You pretty much expedited that shit. But at the end of the day, the moral of the story is love your children. Your children are your legacy and not your career, man.
Wow.
Isn't that what you got out of it? I think that's what they're trying to tell you, because that was part of another exposition dump that the wife was giving.
She said, you work too much. You're not happy.
She's like, your career isn't the big deal. It's your kids. It's your wife.
Pom, pom, pom.
Again, exposition dump.
Emotional damage.
Here. Too obvious. That's the end of the movie. Now, after extended length of talking about it, has your opinion of this movie changed for better or for worse?
Slightly better.
Again, always slightly better. I agree. This movie I absolutely love. It's a top tier movie. It's a chef's kiss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
It's pretty good. So, out of our ratings, what would you rate this?
Oh, bananas. Like a 3.5.
Holy smokes, that's coconuts.
That's coconut.
3.5?
A 4.
I feel like you rate everything 3.5.
I'm always middle of the road.
I know.
No, the last
You just don't want to offend anybody.
No, The Exorcism of God, I gave 4.5, I think.
Okay.
So maybe, no, it wasn't. Let's give it a 4, because of the children.
I give this a 4.5.
Oh, okay.
This is pretty good.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. And usually slow burns are my jam, but this one, they do it effectively.
Okay.
This isn't Night Swim, that shitty ass movie. Remember that?
Yeah.
Shitty Blumhouse movie. So I give it a 5. And again, favorite kill, lawnmower scene.
You went from 4.5 to 5?
Or 4.5, I'm sorry. But lawnmower scene, on point. The death scenes were awesome.
They were.
Except the car burning. I mean, it was effective, but I wish I could have seen the people flailing. But
you could hear the pounding.
Yeah.
Oh, them burning.
Yeah.
That's what it was, right?
Yeah, that was pretty good. Before we get to Vienna's review corner, what did the critics say? How was this received by audiences?
Overall, pretty okay. IMDb 6.8 out of 10.
Wiggle your mouse. It's gonna...
No, I fixed it.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Rotten Tomatoes 64%, Metacritic 53 out of 100, and Google users 83%.
Okay.
Okay.
So pretty well, pretty good.
So the critics were like middle, slightly above middle of the road, 60s. And then the normal people, 80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the audience loved it,
83.
80s, and then the critics were like,
50, 60. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So that was awesome. Okay. Well, with that, do we want to take a quick break and we'll be back?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Vienna's review corner. Sometimes she watches, sometimes she won't. Sometimes she's hyped, but most times she's mad. Take it away, Vienna.
And we're back, folks. Hello, Viana.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How about you?
It's peachy.
You're pumped.
Peaches and cream.
Nice.
Yeah. How was your break from the pod?
Pretty good.
Pretty.
All my grades are doing good, you know.
Yay!
No missing assignments. I'm freaking good.
You get a gold star on your forehead now.
I know.
And on your bedroom.
I've been on my history grind. I've been watching a lot of history.
I know. You've been making me watch some fucking weird
Some
videos.
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sinister. Have you watched this movie before?
No, this was my first
This
time.
was your first time too?
Yeah.
Did it get you or did I scare you?
Honestly, it wasn't that scary. What was scary is you kept screaming super loud and you were like nervous, which was like making me a little nervous too. But besides that, it wasn't like super scary.
I just needed my emotional support. I was like, Vienna, hold me.
I know.
Overall, how did you feel about it?
I thought it was okay.
You thought it was okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like originality, story,
Mm-hmm.
delivery in comparison to some of the other stuff we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
What would you rate this movie?
A 2.
Really?
Yeah. I liked the story and it went fast. I feel like it went a little too fast. Like
It went too fast for you?
well, it went fast, which I like,
Okay.
but like they kind of were like, oh, there's stuff, and then they went back to the house and then immediately they died and I was like, okay.
So the ending took you out?
Yeah, it was like the movie was like flatlined and then like a little bump when they're like, oh, you're gonna die because you went back to the house, and then it flatlined again. It wasn't like
Okay.
insane.
All right. What was your favorite like snuff film?
What? What do you mean?
Of the films that he watched, of all those families and their messed up demise, was there one that you thought was more scary or messed up?
Maybe
there was-
I feel
Do you remember all of them?
yeah. I don't know. I feel like the car one was pretty messed up. Same with
Okay.
the pool. The lawnmower scene was crazy too. It was gory. Like
Mhm.
even though you didn't see anything, it was like, oh my god.
Your imagination was just
Yeah.
like, oh.
See, that part actually scared me because you both went, wow, and I was just like kind of listening, and then I wasn't really watching, and I was like, wait, what happened? And you were like, oh, the lawnmower ran her over, and I was like, oh, what the hell? It went so fast. I was like, I don't know.
I know
It
you looked
escaped my
down and you
mind.
missed stuff. I liked it. It had some good jump scares. How do you feel about Bagul as being a classic horror villain? Richard thinks he should be up there sitting on a throne.
I thought it was really interesting. Like the story they made up, it was cool.
For him,
Mm-hmm.
do you think he was creepy enough to be like classic villain monster? Potentially.
Yeah, if they gave him more of like a backstory, and if he did like more of the killings, like I know he kind of like was the one making all the kids do it, but like I feel like the kids.
Or if you could
had
see him
more-
manipulate the kids more
Yeah,
on
for
camera.
sure. Yeah, like
Okay.
I don't know, like actually like in person, like out of the camera, even though that's where he lives, like in the pictures or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I wish he had a little more like outside of the screen time.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you.
Mhm.
Okay. Did you find us any good reviews?
Yes, there were a lot about his cardigan. Just talking about how that's all he wants.
You pointed it out too.
Yeah. Someone gave it 2.5 stars and said, a scientific study suggests that Sinister is the scariest movie ever, but the scariest thing about it was Ethan Hawke's dirty cardigan. Watch that shit, man.
That's what I was thinking too.
I know, I was like,
did they all
hasn't
look
he
the
been wearing
same, or is it the
same?
same cardigan the entire movie?
He's like a cartoon character. You know how they wear like the same thing every day?
Yeah, and then that Covington College T-shirt.
I know he stunk. No, I'm kidding. Someone gave it 3 stars and said, the thing that I found most unrealistic in a movie that features literal ghosts was the main character zooming in on a super footage and getting crystal clear pictures like it's IMAX or something.
Oh.
Trust me, I tried and that shit should be blurry. Someone gave it 2 stars and said, I cannot take Mr. Boogie seriously. Not if his name sounds like he's gonna bring out the funk any second.
It was Bagul.
Well, no, on the paper it said Mr. Boogie.
I know. It said that the kids referred to him as Mr. Boogie, but
Yeah.
his actual deity name was Bagul.
Mm-hmm. Someone gave it 3.5 and said they must not have spent anything on lighting in this movie. Which, like, when we were watching it, I was like, this is really dark. And then you would get like flashbanged, and it like hurt my eyes, like
I think
adjusting.
that was meant to, like, during when he was watching the films.
No, just like throughout the whole movie.
Throughout the movie.
It was kind of dark. I don't know.
I think it added to the environment or the ambiance.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just blind.
Do we need to get your eyes seen again?
Again? No. Someone gave it 3 stars and said, the lawnmower part gets me every time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, you guys are like, whoa! And then I was like, what the hell happened?
You need to go rewatch it before the rental expires.
Mm-hmm. Someone gave it 4.5 and said, the home videos will send chills down my spine forever. I find more things I love about this film every time I revisit it. Also, I love Ethan Hawke so much. I could watch paint dry and I would give that shit 5 stars.
This person has a crush on Ethan Hawke.
I guess. I don't know.
Was that you, Richard? Yes.
Someone gave it 2 stars and said, I haven't seen such a boring movie in ages. It was like The Conjuring, but the Temu version. Which,
oh, wow.
At one point, I whispered to your ear, I was like, it reminded me of, like, The Conjuring and The Shining, just because of, like, the book part, and then, like, the whole, like, tree in the beginning, and just, like, the ghosts and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Someone gave it 4.5 and said, this movie has some decent jump scares. The one that got me was the lawnmower scene. Did not see that coming. I thought the soundtrack worked well to make the scene feel more airy. As a whole, this was enjoyable, a few good scares, and very well acted by Ethan Hawke. I liked how all the murder cases linked up.
At the end? Yeah. Did you know that the snuff films is what they were calling the homemade movies?
Yeah.
The writer went online and he looked for creepy and eerie music to add to those films, and they bought the rights to them.
That's like Richard.
And then the image of Bagul, they also did a Google search for creepy images, and then they bought the right for the image, and then they developed the character from there.
That's cool. Someone gave it 4 stars and said, guys, I'm looking for the absolute scariest movie I can find, but so far, nothing has surpassed the first 2 acts of this one. I think this might actually be the scariest movie I'll ever watch.
Dang. All right. That was a pretty good mix of reviews, Vienna. Thank you.
What movie are we watching next?
Are you so excited? Ready or not?
Oh, okay.
You do not sound excited. Richard's like, cool. Watch is gonna like suck after all these years of not seeing it.
Right.
Confidence.
Confidence?
Pick
I remember it as being memorable. Okay. Thank you, Vienna.
You gotta have confidence in your picks, man. I bring
Well,
that confidence.
I've been confident before, and then I was bored by them, and I was like, oh my God.
That was Veronica.
Oh my God.
No, so yeah, I'm excited. Where can the listeners follow us, subscribe to
Oh my
us?
gosh. Listen, subscribe, like, share. Everywhere you stream podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Apple.
What's our
Radio Heart? No, is that a thing? Yeah, it is. Radio Heart.
iHeartRadio?
iHeartRadio.
What's our hashtag things? What's our handles, bro?
Instagram at Horror Cinema Obsession. Facebook. TikTok.
TikTok's I don't know, I'll have to look up that one. It's
is.
not Horror Cinema Obsession.
Did it change?
No, it's something else.
No, it's Horror Cinema Obsession.
No, it's like horror.co or some shit.
Oh, Horror CO.
Yeah,
I
because it
think
is
we're a company you can. No.
I don't
They
know.
have a
I'll
limit
have
on
the
characters.
if you follow us on social, it's at Horror Cinema Obsession on Instagram. I'll have the rest of our links on there.
They are on there.
But YouTube also is a good way. And then, guys,
Podbean.
I'm just gonna declare it. I'm coming back, baby. Socials.
You're coming back.
I'm gonna try to get more content heavy on there, having more interaction. I've been kind of hit or miss, so I'm bringing it back. Thank you, Angelus, for carrying the flag on that quite a bit. So thank you for that. But now you're gonna have me part of that, so I'm excited. Be on the lookout for some more content. If I bring more levity to it, guys, just let us know. So I'm going to try to do that a little bit, at least be a more frequent presence in our thing so we can get in line with the algorithm.
Oh, Richard, we love you. We miss you.
I know, that's what I want to hear. Bask in my glory.
Get the fuck out of here.
Anyways, do we have anything else to plug? Just subscribe, like us. Come on, guys. Let's drum it up.
Sure. I don't know. Tell us if you have ideas for any other segments.
No, yeah. If you want to hear any segments, if you got segment ideas,
Because
man.
Richard came up with the folklore.
Mm-hmm.
If you want us to continue that, make more of those. Switch it up a little bit.
If you guys have ideas too, we're open to it. We'd
Or
love
there's
to.
something that you guys are like, oh, you should drop that.
Yeah, or if something goes too long, we want honest truth too. This isn't pandering. This is for you guys too, just as much as us. We have fun doing this. We'd love to hear your guys' input on it too. If you absolutely hate our moments that matter, let us know.
The only thing we will not drop is #justice for Trejo.
Nope, justice for Trejo all day long. And also, not dropping my plot, motherfuckers.
Like it or not.
Those are too fun.
Yeah.
Too fucking fun. But yeah, well, with that, I guess we'll leave them with Hasta Legacy. CC. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks for listening to Horror Cinema Obsession. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If so, help spread the word by leaving a rating and review wherever you listen to podcasts. And join us next time for another episode of Horror Cinema Obsession.